Page 62. Exercise 1. Listen to the lecture and complete the sentences.
Clean air is made up of gases such as nitrogen, oxygen, water, carbon dioxide, neon, methane, helium, organic vapors, and others that you cannot see. But as soon as you go out of your house, you can see air getting polluted. Cars, buses, trucks, or motorbikes leave clouds of smoke behind. There is smoke coming out of factory chimneys. Thermal power plants pour ash into the air. Dust flies when a car speeds by. There is also pollution caused by volcanoes and people smoking a cigarette. Human activity has polluted air because of increasing traffic, growing cities, rapid economic development, and industrialization. Large-scale outdoor pollution is called smog, which means smoke and fog.